He's like, I kind of carved the path for you.
What is his name? You said his first name right.
Jack
Harlow.
That's
yeah, Jack Harlow. Straight up Jack and Dave style.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crash Talk.
Am I on? Can you hear me? Hello.
Can you hear you?
Yeah, I hear me.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crash Talk.
Crash Talking it. Just crashing in to the Crash Talk.
Crashing into the Crash Talk.
Thanks for crashing in with us.
Yeah, no, he stole Jack Harlow's whole thing. But what was your point to that?
No, Jack Harlow stole his whole thing
Dave's
in
whole
the
thing,
show. Yeah, and it's funny. I like how they do the whole back and forth when they go to the Met Gala that he's already been there.
Dude,
and his whole attitude, they make him such a jackass in that.
He like knows about, I know, and he knows about like the inside joke
right,
shit
where they fight to the death.
Yeah,
whatever, you know.
and he's part of the picture.
Yeah.
And what's his name was going to do that.
That's right. He knows about the picture.
Yeah, who's going to pull the thing.
I like how crazy that Rachel McAdams like becomes like the hero of like the story, like saves him.
Yeah.
Gets
and
him
it's
involved.
Rachel
and then
McAdams.
he's like in love with her and he wants his own like notebook moment.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I love her. I've been obsessed with her
she's great.
since Mean Girls.
And she's
Legit
much
actress.
older now and she still looks great.
Oh yeah, she isn't. Yeah,
she's not Notebook anymore. She is definitely
come
something
on.
different.
What's older than a notebook? You got She's an encyclopedia now.
There's that.
I don't know.
Close to the same thing.
Dictionary.
Notebooks you write in.
Dude. First of all, I had a dream that my brothers. No, I had a dream that this girl. I was married or dating this girl.
Oh God, I don't even want to talk about dream. Go ahead, I'll tell you.
You
I've
got
been
a dream?
in hell for weeks. Bad dream. Oh, dude, just every day for weeks.
I had one dream where my ex was a floozy, and this was a couple weeks ago.
Dude, I said the word necking on our last episode, and you looked at me like I was like from an ancient universe.
Yeah,
and
I thought
you
were from
just
the 1930s.
Yeah, you just used like such an old school reference. But go ahead.
A floozy, yeah. So she was being a flooze. And
why would that matter? She's your ex.
Well, not in the dream. We were back together in the dream.
Oh, she was floozing it up while you were together.
While we were together. Here's the thing that really floozed me up.
Okay.
Was I invite my friends over, and we're all hanging out, and then I go to run errands for her. Like go do all these things.
Oh,
like
that's nice of you.
But it was like a dream thing. Like one, I had to hunker down the
weird
apartment
stuff,
we're in so that it didn't get flooded by animals and water. And that was for her, of course. Like weird shit, dream shit.
Yeah.
D-Live, what's up, my dude?
Chat, buddy?
And we're late. It's my fault. I'll take complete and full responsibility.
Yes.
Jess, what's up? Jessica Britt. So she was being a flooze. Here's how. I invited my friends over while I'm doing all this, hunkering down, literally our livelihood. Right?
You're scared. Yeah. Get swept
I
away.
have my buddy in her ears telling me all this, and I left my phone there. And it's this girl who I know in real life was texting me, but literally just a friend, a girl who is a friend. Yeah. And I'm like, that is the greatest thing you could have found on my phone. Yeah. I'm like, there's much more horrible, pictures of it, whatever.
Yeah.
And and so I'm like, she's like, so I go and I lay down and I see she has my phone, so I grab my phone back and I go to like say, all right, like put my arm around her and say like, all right, guys, leave. And she like moves, and then my friend goes and like kisses. He's like, are you okay? And kisses her on the lips. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah. What'd you do? Like, and it was this whole thing where
this was like right while you were in the room. That's
yeah,
that's weird.
So and then they're like, yeah, dude,
such a dream.
We told her who you were, like who you really are. I'm like,
great.
Yeah. And so it's this whole thing of them.
Those guys do exist in real life, though.
No, literally, the person who it was is that fucking person.
So it was someone you knew?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I said
great.
it was my friend, actually, in real life.
I thought you were talking about the girl. Okay.
No, yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those guys that do that kind of stuff.
And he did it, and
they're
I'm like,
so annoying. Those guys.
Yeah, I'm like, go find your own.
And it doesn't even work most of the time. It just makes you.
It's
look
the
like
opposite.
The worst.
They'll be like, the girl will first start it off by saying, I don't like hanging out with Jeremy that much.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they'll always be a little over the line and a little aggressive.
But creep show CTB.
CTB, what up? But this dream that I just had was insane. So it was with this girl, and it's one of those dreams where you're like, so I'm with this beautiful brunette. You know who I think it was? Do you remember the Black Mirror episode, the USS McAllister or whatever? The girl with the big eyes, the pretty brunette with the big eyes.
Oh, shoot.
She's been in a bunch of stuff, but She was in that episode of Black Mirror. Anyway, she was like my girlfriend.
Black Mirror is such a good show.
So good.
Go ahead, yeah.
And we were like ride or die. And how good was that episode though with the avatars where they're up in the moon?
Oh yeah, that genius idea
with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, they have such great ideas. That
Brilliant.
was a rough scene. The opening. Oh my
dude, it's
gosh,
one guy who comes
that
up with all this
guy.
shit. I know. I know.
Nothing you could do about it.
Just
yeah.
you're an avatar, bro. Yeah.
And then of course when he's
avatar.
taking the, he's gonna like start.
Oh yeah,
falling
come on
for
now.
the wife.
For the beautiful, amazing wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I had this chick, and she was amazing. We are having the time of our life. When I wake up, I voice memo, so I don't have to write down and forget.
Okay.
I voice memo my dreams. Dude, you go back to some
Wow.
wild dreams. But
That's
anyway,
funny you keep track.
yeah, I this one I was like literally she was breaking up with me, and she just like I remember her saying she's like, you think we're working our way up from like from like a lull or whatever. She's like, we're on and we're literally passing a slope. She's like, we're on a slope and we're just going further downhill. I remember her like saying that exactly
Right.
while I'm
kind of
passing.
profound.
Yeah, right. And while we're passing a literal like dip in the road thing, and I'm like, literally, I felt my feet, and that's what like woke me up. I felt my feet like balling and unclenching.
Yeah.
Like I was so frustrated. I'm like,
Oh wow.
like angry that she's breaking up with me.
yeah,
And this girl who doesn't even exist.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So what was your thing where you said, oh, you've been going through hell?
Dude, well, if we're
dreams.
if we're gonna talk about dreams, so just a couple that stick out. A lot of them I forget.
Yeah, that's why, dude. That floozy one, that the first
Yeah.
one I told you, I backtracked, but that was one I recorded. I only remembered it because I recorded it.
I've been in constant agony, seriously, with these dreams. So one of the worst is I get sleep paralysis every so often. This time I got sleep paralysis, and usually
That's the
sleep
worst.
paralysis is you're half awake, but you're paralyzed, right? So you're
Hence the
aware,
term, sure.
but you're. This time it happened to me in a dream. So I was having sleep paralysis while dreaming still. So I wasn't half awake. And it was all the same
It's one of those
symptoms.
dreams where you're like running from a killer, then you're like,
No, check this out. This is what made it crazy. So I have my baby son with me, but he's a super baby. Like he's a super baby, and they're trying
sure,
to get him.
of course they want
right?
to get him. Yeah, they need to. Yeah,
Right. And I'm in a
harvest his
truck
DNA.
and it's raining and we're hiding in this truck out front of a motel, and I've got him. But the problem is the people coming after him, I'm having a hard time protecting him because I have all of these other versions of me and other realities
Who are pricks?
that I keep switching between.
Oh, Jesus.
So every time I would switch between another version of myself, I
You're
would
like,
get the sleep paralysis.
yeah.
That's how my mind registered the sleep paralysis from a dream state.
Yeah.
Not being awake. So
it's like,
that was
oh,
what
you're
it was.
slipping in and out of reality. That's why you're feeling this way.
That's why you feel
Yeah.
this way. Is I'm becoming another version of me, and I had to keep trying to get back because
you wanna take care of your kid, yeah.
So it was, and it happened probably 5-6 times in a row. And it feels like seizures. Like they're horrible. Sleep paralysis feels horrible.
Yeah. See,
It's
I didn't
terrifying.
deal with sleep paralysis, nor was it about me like having to protect my child.
Yeah.
My kin.
Well,
this is about like an ex being a floozy, then a girl I never met that I loved breaking up with me.
So again, I have my fiance and my son. We're at a castle, and it's this ancient castle.
Dream shit,
And we
of course.
come in, and we go into it, and immediately we're locked in, and it's just all of these rooms, and we have to try and get So we're trying to like, how do we get out of here? So we
Yeah.
start going in, and we. I realized that it's a puzzle. It's a big maze.
Of course.
And there's zombies, vampires, and werewolves. So
Clearly.
it's
a castle, of course
Each
it is.
room, you'd have to solve the puzzle to get out, but you got to survive.
And
so,
you don't play video games.
right? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So
You wouldn't have these dreams if you did, frankly.
maybe because I would be able to
You'd
live it
playing,
all out,
living it out, Uncharted.
But so the way it worked was, and how I'd have to solve the puzzles is, I found out that when the zombies showed up, if I could get the attention of the vampires, it
They'll
would
fuck
get
with
rid of
each
the
other.
zombies.
Oh, okay.
And so, but then I'd have to deal with vampires.
Yeah.
So depending on the
I'd
room
rather
and
deal with
what was
zombies,
in
frankly.
it, I would have to choose what
Oh,
monster.
the werewolves offset the fucking blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there were these metal cages that you could turn, big, heavy wrought iron cages for
This
the
is so video
werewolves.
game. So video game.
So as soon as
and then
the
it has the face
vamps
of a werewolf on it.
show up,
you turn it and has the face of
and
it.
they could bite at you and get so close, but if you're in those gates, they can't get you. So I would attract the
crazy.
werewolves to get rid of the vamps, and then when they would run off, we could make it to the next room.
Yeah.
And whatever was there, and I'd have to, and the cages, you'd have to flip them and turn them, and there's only one way in, so you turn them so that the door was facing the wall,
Yeah.
so they couldn't get in. Then you have to turn them back around and then get out to. and it was just solving. It was the most anxiety-ridden dream.
Anxious. Jesus,
I woke up like I ran a marathon because it was nonstop. Like what was gonna get us?
And then you saw you had dust from wood from the doors on your hand.
Yeah, right.
What?
Yeah, and Jack had like super strength.
Yeah, it's
Picked up his.
you
his
look
crib.
and you see the chip in your hand.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? No, I'm not afraid of the dark. It's is it? Oh no,
That
Goosebumps.
was an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
It was,
I know what
right?
you're talking about. Yeah, where he goes into the
the
virus
midget-
gets out.
Yeah,
And he wants to get in his body through the. Remember, it was like an
it
old
was a
cereal
USB.
port.
Yeah, a USB
Cereal
plug
before USB.
Yeah, you're right.
It was like
cereal.
the old printer cereal.
The guy
port.
had a cereal. Yeah, the little short man had
Yeah.
a wire sticking out,
Yeah.
and the kid had a thing in his.
Like those
He's
10
like,
pin.
"It's this look like a dream?"
Yeah, exactly.
Remember?
That's the best. Yeah.
So I think, speaking of, I had an idea for a movie or for real life if the circumstances allowed it.
A movie idea that you could act out in real life.
Well, the point of the movie is, so here it is.
Okay.
So when I started thinking about it, I'm like, the ideal person would be a mother who's like a pageant mom,
Okay.
right? And she just ended up marrying like a billionaire. Okay, and she had a kid.
As they do.
Billionaire died, right?
Oh.
Daddy's dead.
Okay.
So she's like, I want my kid to be successful. So she literally tries to find a recipe to success. So what she does is her first kid, and I'm adding a little to it now because she only had one kid originally. But you basically like look at Elvis's career.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, so he had this guy who was sort of like a mentor, but sort of abusive. Let's find an abusive type mentor type guy to look after him. And even on the journey of finding that guy, I'm sure you'll find things that'll help you along the way or whatever.
Okay.
I'm sure like talent plays a big part, right?
Yeah.
But, let's say there's just a recipe for success, or if there's not,
There seems to
just
be.
follow. Just follow. It seems like some trauma at the beginning, right?
It's usually you have one loving parent and one very overbearing, almost borderline
Michael
abusive
Jackson,
parent, right? Somebody who never gives you the satisfaction or the love.
They've never
so you're
said,
searching for
good
it.
job.
Right.
They've never laughed at your joke.
So it
They've
pushes
never,
you for their attention and for them to see you.
Yeah.
So you have that, but then there's
That's
this other
always
loving
driving
parent, so
you.
you don't become like just a
just a
mess.
serial killer. Yeah.
Right. That seemed to be the recipe. Most of these really famous people, that's their history, is they had this one parent that would never give them satisfaction, and then the other parent that was at least loving enough to push them and keep them going.
Yeah.
So there's something to that.
Yeah.
That's
so,
funny.
but that'd be cool. Like, and you look at whoever's career, like,
Yeah.
not just Elvis, anybody. Excuse me. And you're like, all right, what did they do? So step one, boom. Step two, boom. And, along the way, I'm sure you'd find things. Oh, they had a guitar coach that they met at church. So let's go to a church and find somebody who's good at guitar.
That's
just
funny, yeah.
And then see what happens along the fucking way.
Hey, there's something to it.
There's something to it. That'd be cool.
There really
crazy
is. Just
life
the more
experiment.
experiences you have and the more things you do and the more people you interact with.
All this shit helps.
better,
Yeah. If you want to write a song, they're like, okay, we need a Kurt Cobain type. So let's get him a girl that was crazy and yells at him,
that's great.
potentially murders him.
Right. Potentially. Yeah.
Let's get some floozy who will drive him, get his creative juices flowing.
That's creepy.
So what do we got on top story today? What do we got on the docket?
There's actually a few fun things that I wanted to talk about. So first, have you seen Meta? They released Meta. They released their new
metaverse.
goggles, the metaverse. So Lex Friedman did an interview with Zuckerberg in the metaverse, and it's amazing. It's Ready
In the
Player
metaverse?
One. And they did it in the metaverse.
That's dope.
So instead of sitting right in the same room together,
Zuck just didn't want to leave his house.
that's probably what it was. They're across the country from each other, but it looks like they're sitting in the same room. Dude, I want to play this clip. You should the quality, every facial expression. The goggles are reading your facial
But this
expressions.
is Zuck's. This isn't like everybody's version.
So this is exactly right now you can't get this avatar that they call it the Kodak avatar where it looks just like you.
Yeah.
That you have to spend like hours getting your face scanned. You can do it, but you have to go to a center and get scanned. But they said that that's the whole goal is driving to a point where those scans will take minutes. And within a year they'll be there, I'm sure. Seriously, the technology is so fast.
No, you know what's going to happen is Facebook is going to say on the app, it's going to say, do you allow us to, while you're looking at our
Right, yeah,
the
follow
app,
everything.
can we follow your fucking facial motions
As if
so
they
that
don't
you get this
already.
yeah, right. So that we get this dope avatar of you
Yeah,
for
it's
your
scary
metaverse
what
experience.
they're saving, dude.
I just want to do, and I told you this before. I want to kill zombies,
Yeah.
and I want to just mostly play out like video games and stuff.
Yeah, the Omnipad from Ready Player
What is
One.
that? Oh yeah.
Where you can run in all directions, and so this way it's like a treadmill, so you never fall off, or you can just stay in one.
But what if
spot.
you want to jump over something?
They,
How
so
is
they
that a
have
problem with
there's
that?
wires. No, they do the wires that hang from the ceiling.
But you can't like
So
feel
you're
the
connected.
resistance of a brick, like pushing off of a brick or something.
You
right?
can, right? Because they have like a way of yeah, you could put like the bars, like remember the old school, so you didn't fall off. Like maybe they'd use the bars, or they would be tension ropes, right? So the ones on your hands and stuff, when you push down, it would give you that kind of resistance.
You know what would be genius?
And
is
then you have the
there's just
feel.
a circle around you, right?
Yeah.
And it's very low, but based off your environment, it like raises up and stuff.
That's what Insurgent did. They
So you're
had
running and then-
wires plugged into you, and then so depending on what you were doing, it would feel it would
that makes sense.
Those
Wires,
muscles would
tension.
Yeah.
So
those muscles
if you want to
would
push,
react.
now you have a lot of tension against the opposite part, but
Exactly,
still,
yeah.
and then you can do it.
Yeah,
That's
and you
dope.
see them climbing up and doing the dude. That's
How
a good, I love
how
those
silly
movies.
do you look in real life though?
Yeah, it showed it. It would show the girl, but it's cool because then you see the video playing next to her
Course.
of what she's doing. So it makes
But take
more
that
sense.
away, and it's
Exactly.
like-
then it's just somebody hanging
Some
on
asshole
wire.
being
Yeah.
an asshole,
It looks
yeah.
like you just woke up from the Matrix, pretty much.
Yeah.
But let's play this clip. I want you to see how far this has come and
Clip?
where
What-
we're
What are you
headed.
talking about? Clip.
The Friedman interview. Yeah. This blew my
3 minutes,
mind.
right?
Even Friedman, yeah, he couldn't even get his
and instead of
bearings
actually
because he was
transmitting
so
a video,
mind blown.
what it does is we've sort of scanned
Wait, what the
ourselves and a lot
fuck?
of different expressions.
This is in the metaverse.
And-
This
Dude,
is
I
not
saw a
bad.
clip of
built a
this. I
computer
thought this was
model
real.
No, look,
of
it's showing. They're
sort of
wearing
each of
goggles
our
right now.
faces and bodies and the different expressions that we
shit.
make.
Isn't that
and
amazing?
collapse that into a
It's
codec
real
that
time.
then
Zuckerberg-
all
All
have the
muscles
headset
and
on
all
your
that
head
stuff. It's
The real
real
Zuck's the
time.
one in the middle, right?
Yeah.
expression, and it can basically send an
Whoa.
encoded version of what you're supposed to look like over the wire. So in addition to being
Instantaneously.
photorealistic,
They're across
it's
the country.
also actually much more bandwidth efficient than transmitting.
Just listening to him talk is fucking brutal. Where's Lex? Here we go. Let's hear Lex talk.
The subtleties of the human face, like even the flaws, that's all amazing. It makes you
Wow.
Yeah,
it makes it
he's
so
like,
much more immersive. It makes you realize that
blown
like
away.
perfection isn't the thing that leads to immersion. It's like the little subtle flaws,
yeah.
No, for
That's
freckles
what
sure.
makes it real.
like variations in color and
Scary,
just-
man.
Yeah.
So the big
Wrinkles,
problem
all-
with CG and stuff has always been the mouth, and the mouths here look pretty dead on, dude.
They did a great
Stuff
dude.
is
This
wondering.
thing is really cool. And like I said, they're going to get this to a point where everybody can scan in within minutes. And then what Zuckerberg was trying to explain is instead of doing video and sending video, it's registering all of your movements locally and then projecting it, right? So that's how they can keep up with it real time. So then you could have a room of people all around the world that feel like they're sitting in the same room with each other and talking and having
Yeah,
conversations.
yeah, yeah. So
that's
it's
amazing.
picking up real time as opposed to what?
As opposed to just doing video. So like a video call,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So you'd have to do
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
So that's tons of bandwidth, right?
Yeah.
This it's already got your scan, so it just has to pick up on the small, subtle movements.
On the
that's
changes,
And that's
yeah.
what it updates real time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's wild.
Isn't
That's
that
very
smart. Yeah.
So you already have it mapped. It's already there.
Right.
And then you just got to adjust as
Yeah.
when I go to this. You just do that. Change.
Pretty
Make that change.
Which also makes it quicker so that you
course.
saw when they're talking,
That's
there was no
crazy.
lag there. It looked exactly like when he was talking. So
Dude,
yeah.
that's cool.
It's
Because I
wild.
remember the metaverse, when the first came out with the ad for it. I'm like, this looks so dumb, dude. It's like, it's this robot guy. It's like, you know, the cliche thing. It's this person who wants to be a robot, and like this samurai one, and then like this black magician looking person, and they're all playing cards. Hey,
Right.
come play cards.
Right,
This is how it's gonna be.
Yeah,
But
like
really,
Ready Player
it looks
One,
like
kinda,
mine.
where you all get different like cartoony
Yeah, yeah,
avatars.
yeah.
So that's what he was saying. He's like, yeah, instead of the cartoony avatars, you could go this way.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
I know how my face looks. I want a cartoony, crazy.
Me too.
cool.
I would
wanna
want to be a character.
Yeah, I want a character, yeah.
a custom made character.
For sure.
I love all that stuff.
like anybody I've built in Morrowind or any of these.
Right,
I want
that
to
would
be that.
fun.
Yeah.
It still looks like you, but
I'd have a
you're
giant
something else.
scar on my
Yeah,
face. I'd
You
be
get to turn yourself into something, whatever your thing is.
I keep my height, maybe add a couple lbs. I'd just be like 6'6". That was one of the dumbest, funniest jokes that you laughed at.
It's because you've done it so many times. It's funny.
The fact that I didn't say sit, because I said we were talking about the sticks
yeah.
and how they were small sticks.
Yeah.
I said these aren't 6-foot sticks.
Yeah,
which
they're
is
not
my
like my
height.
height. Yeah.
6-foot sticks. So stupid. It is fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, throw that up on the screen real quick one more time. I just want
Hold
the
it up
audience
there.
to see this one more time.
Dude, they're
How
listening
beautiful.
through Spotify though.
Yeah, but for the people that are, if you're on
I
YouTube,
know, I'm kidding.
just look at how beautiful this rendering
It's a picture
is,
of
and how
Lex
quick
Friedman.
it can go. And imagine what you could use this for. Yeah, gaming is where it's at, obviously, but just the back and forth. Look at how perfect.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The shading and the lighting, and you can adjust it on your side, like how bright you want it to be. The other person.
Yeah, if I were
and it all
Zuck, I'd
adjusts.
darken it up a little bit because all those little nerdy freckles are showing. But
So
what
they just dropped their Meta goggles. This just happened. I mean, this is
Meta
all within this week, and they're only $300. And so it has the cameras on the outside, so it's augmented reality and virtual reality. So you can play these games where you're interacting with your environment. You can still see everything, so you don't bump into shit.
Yeah.
But it's all like they can throw creatures at you, and you
Sure.
can fight things, but you can. So it's
See, yeah, that'd be
they
cool
look really
if it's
good.
actually like your own house or whatever.
It
and
is,
then
yeah.
You can run through and ding,
Yeah.
Mario or whatever. I don't know.
And then they can, change it. Like your roof is the solar system.
Yeah, or like
whatever.
they have the car racing game where it's actually in real life, but you're racing the car in your house,
Yeah.
but it looks like you're racing on a whatever. You know what I'm
That's
talking
cool.
about?
Yeah.
Didn't you show me that? Didn't you like buy one for your kid or something? I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's like you have the screen,
Yeah.
and it shows like you're actually on a spaceship, racing, but
Yeah.
you just set up the like little rings that it goes through. You don't remember this? I swear it was in your house.
What are you talking about?
A
though?
race car, a little RC car.
Yeah.
And then you have a screen that you watch it on.
Yeah.
And it's like a video game, and you see, instead of it being your house where you actually are racing the RC car.
Oh,
it
in the
looks
screen,
like,
you're
on the
seeing a
screen,
different reality.
It looks something like
That's
a
cool.
spaceship. Or
Yeah.
on
I love the augmented reality
Yeah.
so much fun. So I thought that was worth talking about.
Yeah, that's wild. So speaking of AI stuff,
Go ahead.
you were mentioning the writer strike earlier. So one of the things that you mentioned that I
Yeah.
picked up on was, writers
Yeah.
and AI. What happened with that? They can't. The studios can't hire AI to write screenplays, right?
So they can't make you. A writer can decide to use an AI if they'd like to,
Their
but you
choice.
can't. A studio can't use another writer as the inspiration through AI to make a movie. They can't hire a writer and then have AI finish a
Augment
script
his script or finish it,
without
yeah.
them getting full credit for it.
Sure.
So those kind of boundaries are in place.
And for actors,
Actors, they're not done yet. They're still on strike, so we don't know.
so just the writer strike ends.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on with the actors yet, but the money went way up, the benefits
Good.
went way up, so the
Good.
writers are happy. They feel
Good.
like they've won here. I think there was like one. Let me see if I can find it. There was one thing that the writers didn't get that seemed like a kind of a big deal.
Is it the one where they can only work on like one project at a time thing? Like the clause that says you need like a certain amount of time or whatever. You can't bring your ideas to like another show is what they're afraid of or whatever. So
no,
there's, like, a
I don't
space.
have it. I don't have it here handy. But there was one thing that they did.
I know that was a
mention
big one.
that they felt like they should have gotten.
Nothing to do with
that they
AI though?
didn't. No, I think it was. Let's see, was it AI or was it streaming?
We'll look it up and we'll talk about it. when
Yeah, I
we
can't
find
remember, but for the most part,
it. Oh,
they feel
streaming's
like,
a big one too. That's what
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson sued over.
So this is what they did now. Now they have to disclose. Remember before Netflix never had to say how many people were watching anything. You
They
never knew
never
the
did,
numbers.
yeah, you
Now
never
they
know.
have to. They have to disclose the numbers. So now they can use those numbers for pay.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
money, the percentage that they get paid went up like a point or two.
That's dope. Yeah, it's such bullshit saying, "Oh, we can't tell you. You might have had the most successful movie of all time, but
Right.
we can't tell you because
funny?
we're
Yeah.
assholes." Yeah.
Not anymore. So that's changed. So now streaming services have to disclose. So that'll be interesting too. I'd love to see the numbers on some of these things.
Yeah, right.
Especially because what if they were pushing some of this stuff that was getting nothing, and because they pushed it as if it was, that's what made it get popular. I'd love to see those kind of numbers. Like if we could retroactively see viewership, date to date.
What do you mean?
So sometimes they'll say like this is the number one in the world. They
Yeah.
don't say how many.
Oh,
What
oh,
if at that
like
time
we
it was
could look
actually
back and
150?
yeah.
But they by saying it was number one, they
Gets
they
eyes
made
on it.
Number
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see if there was any manipulation like that.
Oh, I'm sure there will. I guarantee it. That's one of the benefits of not saying anything or not having to tell people.
Is that nobody knows?
The number one comedy special on Netflix. It's like, is it though?
Yeah,
'Cause
you
I just
don't
watched it,
know.
and it was
You have to take their word for it.
it was what's her name's leather special. The worst thing I've ever seen.
That wasn't that good. Yeah, unfortunately,
it was
because
the
I
worst thing
love
I've ever
her.
seen. That
Yeah.
literally changed. Remember, it used to show ratings on Netflix. Or it
Yeah.
used to show ratings. It would be like 9 out of 10, or
Right,
8.5 out of 10. They changed it and said this is a 70% match for you because her special was so bad it got like
I didn't
bombed.
know that. Wow,
Dude, yeah, they literally changed it because what's her name? I hate her. guts.
Amanda Schumer.
Yeah, Amy. Yeah,
Amy Schumer. Yeah.
she's the devil's eggs.
Sup,
whatever that means.
Chase? Welcome to the chat.
There he is. There he is.
I think she's so brilliant. That's one special I didn't jive with me, but everything else she's ever done up to that point, she
was
so
funny
to
before
me.
that,
Yeah.
sure. But a lot of joke theft allegations, a lot of
I don't know.
for her show especially. They said, "Hey, those
The
little
show
bits
was
that
pretty
you said."
good. Yeah, the show was funny.
Inciting
Her and
shit.
her sister did that.
What is South Park? Did a great episode about that. They were
Right.
Cartman turns and he's like,
Yeah.
when he's dating Heidi,
Yeah,
and
where
he's
he
like,
pretends like
he's
how
like,
women
no,
are-
I love when female comics stand up and say, oh, look at how my vagina's dirty,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
whatever, yeah.
It was all about he would even wear shirts
Yeah.
and stuff like
My other penis is a vagina.
yeah
That's
a
Family
good,
Guy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a funny one.
My other penis is a
Yeah,
vagina.
that was what the dad.
Family
the,
Guy.
Yeah, the
Peter,
dad.
Peter Griffin.
Was it him?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
Remember when he goes all feminine?
the dad's? No, it was the cripple guy's dad. I thought it was him. It was on his car.
You don't
Remember
even know
dated
who I
Brian
am.
for a while. He became trans. He was like a war hero.
Oh, that's-
and he
I
becomes
didn't watch all that.
trans, and then she falls in love with Brian, and Brian falls in love with her. And then
No, I
it's
never
like
saw that storyline.
it was a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
it was a
yeah.
while.
I haven't seen it
while
in 20
ago.
years. So
Yeah.
But I had something else I wanted to talk about. Did you have something else you want to mention real quick?
Oh, I got a ton of stuff we can get
Let's go,
into.
go,
yeah.
boy, go.
So there was something I brought up
Oh, yeah.
a couple shows ago. This was this kid who got arrested in North Korea, and he gave a statement. This poor kid, he goes on this trip. He wants to do something wild, and there's these places that do tours to North Korea. And he's a young guy.
That's
he's,
the
he's
worst
like freshman in college,
idea.
young. And he goes
Dude, North
there.
Korea, first of all, not to interrupt, but we know nothing about that place. Like,
Right. They don't want
shit-
us to know anything.
The only stuff we've seen is stuff they've allowed us to see. It's all propaganda.
Yeah.
Like, dude, everybody's there, and they're all happy and dancing and stuff. And then afterward, like, they change into their actual filthy clothes. And they're all emaciated. And they're
Right.
like-
So that's what this was. It's like a big party trip, and they go to all these bars, and they're having all this fun and taking all these pictures. And when they go to the airport, they tap him on the shoulder and they drag him off.
Yeah,
he's
you're not
just a
going
freshman in college,
nowhere, yeah.
and nobody knows why. And of course, we never get. They don't
Yeah.
have to tell anybody
No.
anything. And then he shows up in a courtroom, and what they say he did was that he stole a poster off the wall, and they have a video of it, and it's just you can't tell it's him. Just some
Yeah.
grainy video of a tall kind of guy taking a poster off the wall. Who he says
Capital
he did
punishment.
it for and why he did it. His whole statement seems like
Yeah,
they tortured
coerced,
him
yeah.
and made him read a statement. Then after that, there's this.
I did it out of my own
That's what I wanted you to see: is how
Yeah.
scared this kid is and how scary this situation must be.
Oh yeah, we talked about
I
the
have a
guy
video.
who he was like, yeah, no, these guys are treating us great.
That's
and then
what
he blinks
this is.
torture.
Yeah, yeah. They make him say like how well he's being treated. It's horrible. But
The video
I thought it was
starts like this.
interesting.
Okay, so it's been real great out here.
Yeah.
You
Oh
missed what
well,
I
I'll
said.
tell you the end of the story. I didn't miss it. Yeah.
I didn't miss it. I just didn't find it funny or amusing. So I didn't
Yeah.
laugh.
So I just let you.
So
talk.
what am I doing?
So yeah, it's a video. It's called "What Happened to Otto." That was his name.
What happened? Oh no.
So
Government of the DPR Korea, for your forgiveness.
I took a poster.
Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Dude, yeah, going to Korea, you dumb
So stop
fuck.
it there. So this is what they do.
Dude, I have no sympathy for him.
15 years.
I have no sympathy for him.
15 years hard labor is what he gets.
Yeah.
For taking a poster off the wall.
Yeah.
This is how the story ends.
They hate Americans, you dumb piece of
Don't
shit.
go there. Don't go there.
Fucking go,
Yeah,
buddy.
I'm not blaming the victim though. They are
I am.
awful for what they did to him. So
We know they do shit like
So
this.
this is what they do.
We know this.
The day Dennis Rodman goes out there for the first time,
Well, they love Den.
They send him back.
Yeah.
He's in a coma and he dies a few days later
course.
because they don't want him to be able to say it.
talk,
What
yeah.
happened to him, what he saw.
So they kept me,
Yeah.
Kim Jong-un ate my fucking fingers.
So
yeah, who
they
knows?
tortured him and then poisoned him and gave him put him into a coma and then sent him home and act like they were doing a kindness.
Yeah,
Poor
sweethearts.
family. Poor
Dude,
family.
fuck them.
But how evil, dude. Like it's just so gross to
I
in
made
this
the
day and
worst mistake of
age.
my life. Yes, you did.
Yeah, so
yes,
15
you did.
years for taking a poster. and
No,
then we're gonna
for going
kill
to
you.
North Korea.
That's a mistake.
That's
for
a
sure.
big mistake.
Yeah, as
Dude.
an American.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to get framed for anything.
Yep.
Anything.
Yeah.
And God forbid
Yeah.
you actually did take a fucking poster from a staff-only area of
Yeah.
anything there.
Oh, then he would be insane.
You're out of your
He
fucking
says
mind.
it was the Z Society made him do it, and the Z Society, according to North Korea, is a CIA front.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right, and so it was the CIA that actually convinced him to do it to demoralize the working class. of the
Yeah,
North
that's
Korea.
what
by
taking down
taking
a
a
poster down.
in an employees only area. It demoralizes the whole country's
Yeah,
workforce.
in an employees-only area.
What a piece.
Yeah.
15 years,
Garbage,
just
yeah.
so gross. So I wanted to show you that because I mentioned it a few episodes ago, and you said you wanted to see it.
And we're giving him the death penalty. I mean, oh no, I'm sorry, 15 years hard labor.
Yeah, we'll say 15 years,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we're going to kill you.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, so don't go. This is a
Don't.
yeah,
Go.
like a public service announcement.
But if honestly he was trying to be like, you know what? Let me get a little souvenir. This would
no,
be so
dude.
creepy.
Oh, I
Then
hope.
you're so dumb.
Yeah, that's poor decision making.
Then you're so dumb.
Yeah, and he was drinking the whole time and partying the whole time. He probably felt a little comfortable.
Bro, go to fucking Mardi Gras.
But I don't think it was the CIA that convinced him to steal a poster. So that's so freaking silly.
Go to fucking
Anywhere.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, his parents begged him not to do it.
Go to Cancun.
They said, "Don't do it. Don't go, please."
Hey, go anywhere else.
Good looking kid, great grades, in college, on his way to a normal, great life. Why North
Anywhere
Korea?
else.
Ugh. But you had something you wanted to talk about,
Anywhere else.
literally.
Oh my God. Anyway, so have you heard about this Hassan Minaj? And I'm not saying that rudely. I'm saying
No.
that's how you pronounce it. Hassan Minaj.
What is it?
Minaj. Do you know who Hassan Minaj is?
No, I wasn't even sure it was a person.
Yeah. No, it's this cooking oil.
Yeah, so I thought it was something like
No.
yeah, or a
It got
holiday.
recalled. Yeah, no, it got recalled. So yeah, that's a great holiday.
Yeah,
So yeah, what'd you do for your Hassan Minaj?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got together with your family, had a good time. So he's the comedian. He did that.
Okay.
He did that great job at the what are those dinners called? National conventions or whatever.
Oh, okay. Like the address, like the presidential address.
No. The one where they roast all the. It's the journalists. They roast all the journalists.
Yeah,
What's
okay.
that called?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's the
Whatever it's called. Yeah, it's the fucking.
It's journalists
Yeah.
dinner or something.
Yeah, like
it's
straight up what it's called.
literally.
Yeah. What's
but
another
go
term
ahead.
for journalists?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's bothering me.
The journalist dinner. Yeah.
Let's just call it that.
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
So he's at the journalist dinner and he roasted. He did a great job. It was fucking hysterical. But he had like the white shit on his mouth because he needed a sip of water.
Oh,
and he
that
wouldn't
sucks.
just take a fucking sip of water.
That's frustrating.
Which is so frustrating.
Yeah.
When I see people on podcasts and they're like, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like, take a sip of water,
Yeah,
dude,
you
for
have-
everybody.
You have time. That's the fun
Nobody's-
about podcasts.
yeah,
You
and-
have no structure.
And nobody's gonna be like, whoa, you're about to take a sip, dude? You're in the middle of a fucking story, bro.
right? Yeah.
How could you know?
What you were saying was too important.
Oh, no, what you were saying? Nobody
on a
could
time
focus on
limit.
because all they heard was
And there is no time limit. It's a podcast. You literally
To the moon,
can
baby.
do whatever you want. Yeah.
you can go for another few minutes though.
Structure. No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But no, so he got in some hot water because he they found out that he was telling like a lot of these jokes he was telling
Yeah.
were made up, which is part of the course. For
Yeah, joke-
fucking comedians.
What do you mean made up? Like
So
They were the invention of his
he
creativity.
for one, it was a story of when he asked this girl to prom. And she's
Oh
like,
yeah,
she's
that's
like, yeah,
comedians. It's all made up.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I say. And so here's the story real quick. One of them, he's like, hey, will you come to prom with me? She's like, yeah, for sure. That'd be a great time.
Yeah.
And then he goes to pick her up, and he's Indian, mind you. And he asked a white girl.
Okay.
He goes to pick up this white girl, and he sees another white dude putting a corsage on her and shit.
Okay.
And so he walks up to the family, and he's like, the fuck am I hearing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So he walks up to my family. He walks up to the family. He's like, hey, I thought I was taking Sydney out. And they're like, oh, no, I think this is a better fit. You can go home.
That sucks if that's not true, but
He
that would
made
be
that up.
awful.
So here's the problem.
Yeah.
You make up for comedy's sake. So
Yeah,
if I tell
yeah.
a story and I embellish,
Yeah.
I'm embellishing the funny parts.
Right.
I'm not embellishing so that people will feel sad for me and my my racial fucking.
Is that what do you, are you saying that's what he was
That's
doing?
clearly what he was doing. Yeah, for his racial plight, they wanted people feel bad.
There was
he
no
made up
joke there?
No, this is
Oh,
like
that's weird.
no, this is just like, oh, it was called like emotional truths. And that was his excuse for, they're like, hey, we found out you lied. The girl came out, check this out.
Oh, no.
That racist family with the girl,
Yeah.
she said, yeah, Hassan asked me out like 2 days before the prom. I already had a date and he never came to my house. And guess
Yeah.
what? Now she's married to an Indian guy.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so there you go.
Not racist, just bullshit.
Oh,
Another one, dude,
wow.
another one, he said his baby, they opened up an envelope and there was anthrax because he's
What?
Indian. Yeah.
No.
Anthrax fell on his
These
daughter,
aren't
his
jokes.
children, his child.
Stop it. Why would he make that up?
For sympathy, bro. You got to be nuts.
Okay. Yeah.
He wanted
There's
to like
something
push
weird
this
about that.
agenda. Yeah. He wanted to like push like, dude, look at
That
the
he was
shit
getting
we go through.
attacked with anthrax? Why him? Why would anyone take the time to
Nobody
get
would.
military grade, anthrax? and send it to
Nobody would.
him?
And he tells the story. And then I brought her to the hospital. He tells like this whole story.
No
the nurse came out and
way.
dude, he's
He
fucking.
wasn't making jokes. He was telling sad stories.
No, it was like, have you ever seen it's one of the greatest specials, one of my favorite specials, I should say. It's called Three Mics by, I can't believe I'm spacing this great comedian's name, but it's called Three Mics. One, he does like one-liners, one he tells stories, and then one
Yeah.
it's just like jokes.
Okay.
And so it's sort of like that, where he was just like telling a story to build on his life. Then he'll go and ha 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 hee hee, and then more about then this, and he'll do like a PowerPoint presentation, sort of like how Mike Tyson did his thing.
Okay.
And he'll be like, and this was my father, and this was me at the beach at 22, whatever. Fuck.
Yeah.
And so he would like tell the stories. He'd be like, and this is the girl I asked, and it blacked out her face, but the girl could tell. Oh yeah, that's a picture of me from high school. And so he's just a lying sack of shit.
That's weird.
But so
The press dinner, press corps, press,
yeah, the
something like that.
press, yeah. Damn it,
Yeah.
you've been thinking of that the whole time.
No, it just popped into my head. Press. But yeah, that's weird. So he wasn't actually telling jokes. He didn't make a joke about it being another guy, and then something funny happened.
No,
He was actually just trying to
that
tell like
story,
sad stories.
and then sad story, and then something funny happened separately.
that's
later on,
that's a weird thing.
This is my emotional truth. And this is something that happened, and now
He
this.
said that?
Well, actually, that was his excuse. That was the name of his special, Emotional Truth. But that was he's like, well, the emotional truth of it is there. I've dealt with this kind of racism in my life. These specific events aren't real, but dude,
Yeah, that's a weird
That's a
thing to
yikes.
do.
That's
The
a
whole
big
thing is-
yikes.
Yeah,
that's a huge yikes.
that's a weird thing.
You don't do that, but
Yeah, I'm sure you've got real stories. Like, tell those.
yeah, or embellish on good stories.
Yeah, may have fun with it.
Yeah.
The best one was the when they bring the Key and Peele guy to do the what's his name, Walter.
Oh, yeah.
the
Obama's
Obama one.
Yeah,
That
that's
was-
great.
They actually had him there.
What is it? His translator, or like whatever they
Yeah,
call
his
it. What he's
anger
thinking?
translator or
Yeah,
something, yeah.
yeah. The great is when they did the wife and the sketch, not the in real life.
Yeah, the sketch is
It
funny.
was Michelle versus him. But all right. Well, beautiful.
Oh, I wish we could have got to the science news. Maybe we'll get to that next time.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm in
go
no rush,
on vacations to North Korea.
Yeah.
And if you do, Follow the rules. I
No,
guess.
don't go.
Yeah, it's better
Best
advice.
advice, don't go to North Korea.
Yeah.
You know how many
It's
places
not a
there are
great
to go?
relationship there.
All the places.
Yeah. Yeah, there was
All
just
the
a
places.
soldier released from there recently, and that's what made me think of it. We had talked about it, so I figured we'd show the clip. But
All the places.
thank you to the chat. Thanks for joining us. I'm excited about the next TPTNS episode coming up on Tuesday. If you haven't seen this most recent episode, we dove into serial killers. Check that.
It was a
episode
lot
out.
of. It's actually a really funny
it's a
episode.
funny one.
It's a good episode.
So check that one out. Let us know in the comments if you have any cool topic ideas for the big show. But thanks for joining today. Love you guys.
Yeah. Love you guys so much. We appreciate the heck out of you. Like Jared said, Tuesday for TPTNS. We love you. We miss you. I don't know why we miss you, but you're here. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you. What did I say? Enjoy. Thanks. Thank you guys. And we'll see you Tuesday. We love you so much. Later, guys. Have a good one. See you Tuesday.
Goes by so quick.
Show do.